صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب قلوب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على صلى الله عليك يا مولاي يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك وسلم يا مولاي وابن مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا مصباح الهدى وسفينة النجاة ويا عبرة المؤمنين، غريب مظلوم عطشان شهيد كربلاء، ويا مسلوب العمامة والرداء، ما خاب والله من تمسك بكم، أمن من لجأ والتجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل. A second salawat for the love of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. A third salawat for the hastening of the reappearance of our Mawla Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. May our souls be sacrificed to him. I'm going to start by sharing a poem I wrote last year. I know Hussein would not have taken a bite from the apple of Eden. I know Hussein would not have taken a bite from the apple of Eden, since Hussein lay dead, hungry, thirsty, yet he never retreated. I know Hussein would not have taken a bite from the apple of Eden, since Hussein lay dead, hungry, thirsty, yet never defeated. It's a fact that Hussein would not have taken a bite from the apple of Eden. And even if he did, the apple of Eden would feel conceited. I know Abbas trained Dawood. That's how Goliath was defeated. I know Abbas trained Dawood. That's how Goliath was defeated. Dawood prayed for his kingdom, which he was made to pass down. Though Abbas is the king of kindness, on his throne he's still seated. I know Abbas trained Dawood. That's how Goliath was defeated. Dawood prayed for his kingdom, which he was made to pass down. Though Abbas is the king of kindness, on his throne he's still seated. I know Hussein taught Ayyub to have sabr and exercise patience. I know Hussein taught Ayyub to have sabr and exercise patience. Hussein knew of his sacrifice on the 10th, still deciding to face it. Ayyub thanked Allah throughout the hardships when they occurred. Hussein anticipated. Since a child he knew his destination. Still without hesitation he carried out the commands of Allah with supreme motivation. For a fact, Hussein was the mentor of Ayyub. Ayyub kisses the hands of Hussein in obeisance. I can see that Harun learned from Abbas on how to be loyal, to hold steadfast to his brother when expected of him. Just like Harun, Abbas died before his brother on the plains of the desert. Just like Harun, Abbas died before his brother on the plains of the desert. Though the lips that embrace the hands of Abbas were those of the Lion of God. Can Harun say that he has the same maqam? Hussein. Ya Ali. Hussein is the great emancipator, father of the liberated. It was from him Musa drew his beliefs. Was it not the Red Sea that liberated Musa? Was it not the Red Sea that liberated Musa, while the Furat engorged with the blood of Hussein's martyrs until they were free? Only if al-Banin raised the children of Yaqub. Only if al-Banin raised the sons of Yaqub, their brother Yusuf, they would never betray. The mother of boys gave all of her children. Abbas gave his hands for his brother Hussein. If only al-Banin raised the sons of Yaqub, their brother Abbas, they would never betray. The mother of boys gave up 4 of her children. Abbas gave his hands for his brother Hussein. Hussein is my Jesus, in my eyes even more great. Hussein is my Jesus, in my eyes even more great. For Hussein was crucified on the 10th. Hussein was crucified on the 10th while Jesus ascended before all the pain. If Asiya learned from the rose of Muhammad, if Asiya learned from the rose of Muhammad, she would not go somewhere private when she worshipped Allah. For Fatima gave every ounce of her existence, her ribs crushed, her infant killed, her house burned because of her devotion to God. al-Banin should have raised the children of Adam. al-Banin should have raised the children of Adam, for her milk was a concentrate of courage, virtue, and loyalty liquefied. Abbas took his last breath at the riverside. For Hussein, he divorced the Furat 3 times. Their matrimony he nullified. The Euphrates cried tears and flooded with sorrow. Abbas was raised as the father of virtue, while Cain, the son of Adam, committed fratricide. Now tell me, is Hussein not more exalted than prophets? The progeny of Muhammad envies even Imran. For Muhammad, Fatima gave birth to 12 Musas, 12 Isas, 12 Yahyas, 12 Yusuf. Do those prophets have a shrine like Hussein, where their lovers go to worship Allah from dusk until dawn? Let me ask you about when Muhammad embarked on his great flight through the heavens, layers 7, until he reached the throne of Allah. Did he not see Harun only at the 5th heaven, while Hussein now resides in the 7th heaven of God? Ya Ali. Now tell me, is Abbas not exalted like prophets? For did Yunus not have a lapse in his faith? He was swallowed by the whale for breaking his promise, while the father of virtue submitted to Allah, still swallowed by the Euphrates, was the commander-in-chief. So tell me, is Hussein not exalted like prophets? For him, the sky wept, as did the stars and the moon. Hussein was Musa, his Fir'aun was Bani Umayyah. Upon his death, Hussein attained victory. His staff was his martyrdom on the 10th. Bani Umayyah mistaked Hussein as dead come noon. Does any prophet have pilgrims like those of Hussein? Does any prophet have pilgrims like those of Hussein? Tens of millions. To his shrine we would crawl. Now tell me, is Hussein not more exalted than prophets? Adam, Nuh, Yusuf, Isa, Ibrahim, Musa. For Hussein wept all. Ibrahim, Adam, Nuh, Yusuf, Musa, Isa. For Hussein wept all. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. My dear loved ones, tonight is the night of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. Qamar al-Ashira. Qamar Bani Hashim. The moon of Bani Hashim. It's unlike every other night. Tonight is a specific night, a holy night, a special night, the night of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. It's the night in which the back of Al-Imam al-Hussein was broken. He lost his brother. Zainab lost her brother. It's unlike every night, my dear loved ones. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, before he was born, he was loyal to his brother, Abu Abdullah. During the final stages of her pregnancy, al-Banin was heavy. 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. Every time Al-Imam al-Hasan or Al-Imam al-Hussein alayhimus salam, they would enter the room, she would rise in respect. They would tell her, you're like our mother at this point. You don't need to stand up every time we walk in the room. She tells them, my masters, if I don't stand up, this child in my stomach kicks me, telling me, rise for your masters. Allahu Akbar. That's the loyalty of Abu al-Fadl before he was born. When he was born, Amir al-Mu'mineen looks at him. He is happy. He's filled with joy. Then he looks at this baby's small palms. He starts to cry. He kisses the palms of the says, is there something wrong with this boy? He tells her, no, absolutely not. Perfect. But one day these palms will be severed. Why is that? What will happen? He tells her that one day to the rescue of his brother Hussein in a land called Karbala on a day called Ashura. He's going to sacrifice himself for Hussein. She says he'll sacrifice himself for the son of Fatima. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Alhamdulillah. If he's sacrificing himself for the son of Fatima, I'm happy. I'm honored. I raise my head up high. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, Allah, when He created loyalty, when He created courage, when He concentrated it all in Abu al-Fadl. On the day of Siffin, Amir al-Mu'mineen's army was at a stalemate with the army of Muawiyah la'natullah alayh. There was no movement. There was no advance. And the companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen, they were all looking towards his tent to see what the strategy would be. What would be the next move? How would they advance? And at a moment, they see that Amir al-Mu'mineen, he walks out with a masked soldier. An unknown soldier comes out of the tent. He gives a mission to this soldier, gives orders to this to attack the enemy front lines, to penetrate their defensive line, and to move the right flank to the left and the left flank to the right. And they have no idea who this soldier is. He looks like a particular man, but they don't know. They just see eyes, beautiful eyes. These eyes full of nur. Attacks the enemy single-handedly. He enters the trench. He begins to attack the enemies. Limbs are flying, heads are flying. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, he's hitting them with the hit of Haydar. He's hitting them with the hit of the Lion of God. They don't know what's coming. They say we're being ambushed. The enemies are attacking us from every angle. They don't know it's one man who's moving the right flank to the left flank to the right. He attacks the center. He moves the defensive lines back. He pushes them back, and the army of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam begins to advance. He goes back, he finishes his mission unharmed. He walks back with complete supreme confidence to the camp of Amir al-Mu'mineen, to the tent of Amir al-Mu'mineen. The companions look, they see Amir al-Mu'mineen hug this soldier, kiss this soldier on his forehead. And then he removes the mask. They all see it's Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. Allahumma salli alayhi. Narrations state that in that battle, he was 15 or 16 years old. 15 or 16 years old, he wiped out the entire army of Muawiyah la'natullah alayhi. Days before Ashura, multiple times, Abu al-Fadl would go to his brother, tell his brother, allow me to go fight, allow me to go punish these enemies of Allah. One command from you, I'll wipe out 30,000 men. And this was a reality, my loved ones. This is not something over-exaggerated. On the days before Ashura, Umar ibn Sa'd, la'natullah alayh, and Shimr, la'natullah alayh, they're together, they're looking towards the camps of Abu Abdullah. And they see Umar ibn Sa'd, he looks and he sees it's 70 men. And he says, Shimr, do you know that if we wanted, we can attack them with our horses without using spears? We can just go and trample them. In one moment, we'll wipe out their army. Shimr, la'anahullah, he looks at Umar ibn Sa'd. He says, you're miscalculating. You're uninformed. You're unintelligent. You don't know that Hussein has one soldier that if he gives him one one guidance, one allowance to go and fight us, he's going to wipe everyone out. He'll remove the entire army. He says, who is that? He says, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. He tells him, Shimr, you have some kind of relation with Abu al-Fadl. Abu al-Fadl and Shimr, they were related somehow with their mothers. So he tells him, go and speak to Abu al-Fadl, go and see if he's going to betray his brother. If we offer him an entire sultana, an entire kingdom, we make him the commander of our armies, we give him spoils, we make him the richest man, he might leave his brother. Shimr tells him, no, he won't. Even the enemies of Abu al-Fadl, they know who he is. They know his honor, his pride, his loyalty. He goes and he begins to call out and says, where is our cousin? Where are our cousins, Abbas and his brothers? Where are our cousins? Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, he lowers his head in embarrassment, in ashamedness in front of his brother Hussein. And he does not respond to Shimr, la'anahullah. Multiple times Shimr calls. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas does not answer. Al-Imam al-Hussein tells him, go and answer him even if he's a fasiq. Go and see what he wants. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas gets on his horse. He goes and he sees what the enemy wants. And he doesn't say salam. He doesn't look at him. He tells him, ماذا تريد يا ابن ذا الجوشن? What is it that you want, son of the Joshan? He doesn't even mention him by name. He tells him, you're our cousin, Abu al-Fadl. We don't want you to die tomorrow, you and your brothers. We'll make you the richest men. You will be the commander of our army. Yazid wrote, la'anatullah alayh, he wrote a specific letter with your name in it just for you to leave your brother. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, it's recorded that when he would get angry, there would be a specific vein in his forehead that would pop out. They call it the Hashemite vein. This vein would pop out or show when he became angry. When he became angry, this vein popped out when Shimr told him this. He told him, أَتُؤْمِنُنِي وَابْنَ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ لَا أَمَانَ لَهِ? You want to give me refuge and sanctuary, and the son of Rasulullah has no sanctuary? لَعَنَكَ اللَّهُ وَلَعَنَ أَمَانَكَ لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكَ وَعَلَى أَمَانَكَ. May Allah's la'na be on you and your sanctuary. I don't need it. And he's angry. In these moments, Sayyida Zainab, she goes to the tent of Aba Abdullah. She hears a commotion, arguments, loud noises. She recognizes the voice of Aba al-Fadl. So she enters the tent. She sees Aba al-Fadl is not there. She tells Aba Abdullah, where's my brother? Where's Aba al-Fadl? He tells her, I sent him on a mission to go and speak to the enemy of Allah. She tells him, how could you send him by himself? I'm scared for my brother Abbas. Don't you know he's all I have? He's everything to me. Hussein, please go and bring him back. Please. He tells her, Zainab, you're scared for Aba al-Fadl? Did you not know that these 30,000 men, they haven't attacked us until today because Aba al-Fadl is in our camp? Because they're afraid of his shadow. They're afraid of his name. They won't dare to enter our camp because he's here. You see the pride, the honor that Aba al-Fadl has. He fills the hearts of those enemies with fear. This is the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He goes, he tells her, that's fine, my dear loved one Zainab. He goes, he rides his horse. He sees that Aba al-Fadl is coming back. As he's going to dispatch himself to bring back Aba al-Fadl is already coming back, and Shimr is running away like a coward. When he saw that vein, he ran away. At that moment, he told Shimr, before coming back, he told him, if I had one single permission from my Imam, Aba Abdullah, I would separate your soul from your body in this moment for saying what you're saying. I'll bury you here, but I don't have permission to engage in combat yet. They go back to the tent. The day of Ashura comes. Aba al-Fadl al-Abbas, multiple times he goes to Aba Abdullah. He tells him, allow me to go and fight. Allow me to go and fight. Allow me to go and fight. And every time, Aba Abdullah tells him, I can't allow you to do so. You are all I have. If you fall, the army falls. If you fall, we have nothing left. Everyone is martyred. Ali Akbar is gone. Qasim is gone. All the Ansar are gone. It's just Aba al-Fadl al-Abbas and Imam Hussein by themselves. The last time Aba al-Fadl goes to ask permission to go and fight, Aba Abdullah says no. Aba al-Fadl al-Abbas, at that moment, he's sad. He's broken. He walks back towards his camp. He passes by the camp of the children and the women. Before I give you that picture, I want you to remember the story of Musa. Musa, when he goes out to Midian, when he's grabbing water, he sees the daughters of Shu'aib. He sees two women at the end of the line by themselves, wearing their hijab, shy. And he feels bad. He goes. He's a man of honor. He tells them, what is it you need? They tell him, we need water. Why are you here by yourself? Our father is too old. He says, I'll get you water. Aba al-Fadl al-Abbas, when he's going back to his camp, Sukayna and the rest of the children, they hold on to his Abba. They hold on to his clothes. They tell him, Uncle Abbas, the thirst is killing us. Sukayna tells him, my brother Ali al-Asghar, he's dying. Come look at him. Aba al-Fadl enters the tent. He goes and he sees Ali al-Asghar's lips are bleeding from thirst. Allahu Akbar. Musa, he helped out two ladies that were not thirsty, were not in need. They had a home, they had a father. How do you think Aba al-Fadl felt when he heard the daughters of Muhammad cry out, we're thirsty, we need water? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. He goes to the tent of Aba Abdullah. He tells him, if you don't let me fight, at least allow me to go out and fetch water for the camp, for the children. Your son Ali al-Asghar is dying. He tells him, go out, Aba al-Fadl. Go and attack the enemies. Aba al-Fadl goes and he enters battle. He begins to enter the battle. Before he leaves, Aba Abdullah tells him, I have something to give you from our father, Amir al-Mu'mineen. He gives him the alam that Amir al-Mu'mineen would hold. He gives him the sword. He gives him the armor. He tells him, our father held these for you. This was his honor for you to hold this on the day of Ashura. He enters battle. Abu al-Fadl enters battle. He goes and he infiltrates the Furat. 4,000 men are standing guard on the Furat. They can't hold back Abu al-Fadl. He enters the Furat. He penetrates the Furat. He holds the water in his hand. He's looking at the water. He's been thirsty for 3 days, my brothers. 3 days he holds the water. He feels like his nafs wants to jump out and grab that water. Did Abu al-Fadl want to drink that water? No, wallah, he did not want to drink that water for a second. He holds that water. He remembers his brother Hussein. He remembers Sukaina. He remembers them yelling, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. Allahu Akbar. He throws back the water into the Furat. He fills his qirba, he fills the canteen with water. He heads back towards the tents. La'natullah alayh, Umar ibn Sa'd tells his companions and his army, if this water reaches the tent, we will lose this battle. If Abu al-Fadl gets water, if Hussein gets water, we'll lose this battle. You don't know who they are. They're the sons of Amir al-Mu'mineen. You have to deceive them. You have to do whatever it takes to murder them. Allahu Akbar. At one moment, there was an enemy of Allah. He was standing behind a palm tree. He went and he stood behind that palm tree. And at one moment, he struck the hand of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. Ayn al-Mudadi wa Abbasa wa Sayyida. His right hand is missing. He holds the alam in his other hand. Sayyidah Zainab, she's standing outside the camps. She's looking outside the tents. She sees that the alam is approaching. She knows Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas is still coming. She feels safe. Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, he pushes on towards the tents. Another la'een. He's standing behind a palm tree. He cuts his other left hand. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. At that moment, Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, he holds the water canteen, he puts it around his neck, he continues towards the tents. His mission is to keep the water safe. At that moment, the arrows come raining down like rain, like a shower. They hit the water canteen, the water falls out. He wants to save the water. And one of those arrows, they went somewhere that I cannot mention. It's mentioned in our stories. In our stories, one of the ulama, the grand ulama, he would recite this musibah. He would say where the arrow entered into Abu al-Fadl. And then one time he saw Fatima al-Zahra in his dream. She told him, I can't come to your musibah any longer. He says, why? She says, I can't hear when you say the arrow entered the eyes of Abu al-Fadl. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. He goes on, he wants to remove the arrow from his eyes. He puts his eyes onto his horse. At that moment, he's hit on his head. He falls to the ground. He says, Ya Hussein, Ya Akhi, adrik akhak. My brother Hussein, come to the rescue of your brother Abbas. Abu Abdullah, he goes, he holds him, he puts his hand in his lap, his head in his lap, he's caressing him. At that moment, Abu al-Fadl, he can't see. He tells him, please, if you want to kill me, let me see my brother Hussein for one last moment. The tears of Abu Abdullah fall on his face. He tells him, it's you, it's me, your brother Hussein, don't worry. Allahu Akbar. He wants to carry him back to the tents. He tells him, leave me here. Leave me here. I can't take back the water to Sukaina. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Abu Abdullah, at this moment, he holds his back. He can't walk anymore. He wants to walk back to the tents. And he wants to stand up. He can't. 3 times, Abu Abdullah's back is broken. He uses his sword as a cane to walk back towards the camp. He can't. He gets to the camp, Sukaina, Zainab, they all see he's alone. They say, where is Abbas? Where is our uncle? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. My dear loved ones, in this I conclude. The companions of Aba Abdullah, every moment one of them would fall for Shahada. Ali al-Akbar, Qasim, they would smile. Aba Abdullah would say, why are you smiling? They would say that this is Rasulullah giving us water from the cup of Kawthar. Allahu Akbar. Abu al-Fadl, when he died, at the moment Rasulullah came to give him water, he cried. Why did he cry? He said, I can't drink water before my brother Hussein. Allahu Akbar. Please rise. Abbas Alam Dara Hussein. Abbas Alam Dara Hussein. Everyone. Abbas Alam Dara Hussein. Abbas Alam Dara Hussein. Abbas Alam Dara Hussein. Abbas Alam Dara